Hello and welcome everyone to EA Play 2020. We're happy that you're joining us today. Over the next 45 minutes or so, we've got so much for you, including creative, innovative, and really fun new games, and a lot of news to share. But before we get into the show, I'd like to take just a minute here. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to first responders, medical staff, and essential personnel. This has certainly been a challenging year. From natural disasters like the bushfires in my home country to the devastating COVID-19 pandemic, these brave heroes are working to keep us safe and healthy at every turn. I also want to thank our teams for their amazing dedication while working from home. What you've been able to achieve is nothing short of inspirational. We are also deeply thankful to all of you, our players. Even when we've had to stay physically apart, billions of you are using games to come together, to play, and do amazing things for each other. You've shown why this is truly the greatest form of entertainment on the planet. This is also a critical time for the movement to end racism and racial injustice in this world. Black lives matter, and there is much to be done to drive real and meaningful change. A couple of weeks ago, we shared some actions that Electronic Arts is taking. We will not rest on this. It's a long-term commitment. We're here for players of every color, background, religion, and personal preference. We will continue to build strong representation in our games, and we are focused on making our communities fun, inclusive, and positive places to play. We also have real work to do to bring greater diversity into our company, and we are committed to doing that work. Today, we're here because of the power of games. Games bring us together. They can make our lives better, they can teach us, they can provide escape and self-expression. And most of all, games can be fun. All of us at Electronic Arts believe in that, and it's why we're excited to get up every morning to make great experiences for all of you. So thanks for being here with us. And now, let's get into some games.
What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and welcome to EA Play. We had an incredible show in LA planned for you. Huge stage, massive setup, these giant monitors. I was gonna fly in on an X-Wing. I was gonna land the X-Wing on stage. I was gonna set off a bunch of fireworks. Then what? T-shirt cannon, bam, shooting out game consoles. Then Carol Baskin, some tigers. That last part was all me. Then, because of circumstances beyond our control, we had to come up with something a little different. Instead of LA, I'm in my hometown of San Francisco, but we still have the Tigers. What's that, James? No Tigers. So you lied. Oh, all right. I'm being told there are no Tigers, but whatever. We're still gonna bring you the EA Play you know and love. Huge surprises, big announcements, incredible reveals, and never before seen gameplay. Coming up over the next hour, we've got game reveals galore, world premiere trailers of new titles, some old favorites making a comeback, a look at a new way Star Wars fans can live out their greatest fantasies this year, plus a sneak peek at the future. Oh, and pay close attention because today you could win one of thousands of Steam codes for more than a dozen great EA games on Steam. Throughout the show, keep an eye out for discreetly placed golden letters. Write them down as they appear, and at the end of the show, we'll tell you where you can enter that secret code for a chance to win free games on Steam. So don't go anywhere. Who am I kidding? None of us can leave our houses. But enough talking. Let's see some games. Up first, we're headed to the Outlands. That's right, it's Apex Legends time.
Anyone want to take me out?
You should smile more.
Hey Apex fans, the battle just keeps getting bigger. Thanks to you, Apex Legends is coming off its most successful, most epic season yet, and we're just getting started. Season 4 saw more of you jumping into the fight than ever before, and you've kept that amazing momentum going forward, making Season 5 the biggest and best start to a season ever.
Took out an enemy. Hold on to your holograms.
We hope you've been enjoying Season 5, Fortune's Favor, which has seen the introduction of our latest legend, Loba, a major map change to Kings Canyon, rest in peace Skulltown, an all-new ranked series, and a ton of quality of life updates. But it's about to get even better. Today, I'm here to tell you about what's coming next to Season 5 with our latest collection event, Lost Treasures. Take a look.
I might bury you here. No one will ever know. You'll just be gone.
Adventurers, raiders, explorers, they risk everything in search of fame, fortune, and answers. Few find what they're looking for. But if they survive, they might walk away with lost treasures.
I'll high-five you all when I see you. Mobile respawn beacon here.
My silences are firing again. Check yourself or wreck yourself.
Hey, thanks. I owe you one.
Guns? Who needs guns? I don't need guns. I know what I'm looking for. I won't walk away without it. 너를 찾을 거야.
T, it's me. Be careful. He's watching you.
As you just saw, the Lost Treasures collection event brings with it a ton of great content, including a new limited time mode, Armed and Dangerous Evolved. It's the return of a fan favorite, snipers and shotties only, but with a twist.
Sending out my decoy.
All armor is Evo armor, and we're removing all of the respawn beacons across the entire map. Don't worry though, you'll still be able to bring back your teammates with the help of a new item, the mobile respawn beacon. You'll have one of these in your inventory at the start of each match, giving you the power to choose when, and more importantly, where you bring your teammates back into the battle. Lost Treasures also introduces a new town takeover, Crypto's Map Room, which gives players a closer look at what motivates this drone-wielding hacker. And of course, the Lost Treasures collection delivers a bunch of exclusive content you can earn by completing challenges, as well as all new event-exclusive cosmetic items and the introduction of your boy Mirage's heirloom, which is fittingly a trophy of himself.
Excited to see you all in the ring. Don't worry, there's plenty of me's to go around.
And the best part is you don't have to wait that long. Lost Treasures drops on Tuesday, June 23rd. And that's not all, Apex fans. The battle is expanding. That's right, this fall we're bringing Apex Legends to Steam. And I know you're hoping, wondering, praying, so before you ask, yeah, crossplay is coming to Apex this fall. It's been one of the biggest requests we get, and we're thrilled to finally deliver it to our fans. What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, one last thing, let's make it official. We're huge fans of Nintendo here at Respawn, and we are incredibly excited to be bringing Apex Legends to the Switch this fall. And we'll share more details in the months ahead. So that means you'll be able to squad up no matter where you and your friends prefer to play, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, or on the PC via Origin and Steam. We're throwing out a lifeline and healing the divide between the platforms. On behalf of the entire Apex team, we want to thank our incredible community. Your passion for the game is truly inspiring. We look forward to seeing you all in the arena. And don't forget, check out Lost Treasures on June 23rd.
Woo! Oh man, that was amazing. I think I'm hyperbolic. I think I'm hypervent. I've had a really good time here.
Sul, everyone. One thing I admire about Apex Legends is its commitment to having such a diverse range of characters. At The Sims, we've always believed representation and diversity in games is critically important, perhaps now more than ever. It's difficult to put into words just how meaningful it can be to see yourself reflected in the games you play. So, here to tell you in their own words are a few members of our Sims community.
It's a very interesting thing to explain.
It feels empowering, actually, and very moving.
It really taught me a lot. The importance of just like keeping relationships good with people.
It's probably like the only place where I was open.
They get to see my personality first before seeing my disability, I guess you could say.
I found myself to be the only black child in my school. I was discriminated, I was bullied. My skin tone, my height, and my teeth.
First realized that I was trans, and I was like praying to God to undo it. I have this world where I can express myself and be myself.
Where I come from, who I am, the color of my skin, you know, who I'm attracted to, let any of that get in the way. It was no barriers.
No matter where I was or what I was going through, I had my safe place. This is plausible. This is a future you can have.
It was almost like I was peeking into the future, and I didn't know it at the time, but it gave me hope.
It gave me a sense of hope that I could build a life that looked like that.
The Sims is almost like a utopia of what I hope our world eventually becomes.
As I got more comfortable with my character in the game, I got more comfortable with myself.
I play to build me.
I play to express myself.
I play to make a difference.
I play to feel good about myself.
I play to have confidence.
To have me time.
Fuel my creativity.
It's more than just a game. It's creating your life.
As you just saw, there are so many reasons why I am proud to be part of the Sims global community. We want the Sims to be a place of unity and hope, a place where you can be your authentic self and build your vision for our shared world, a place to imagine what's possible. To our Simmers, thank you for everything you've done to make your communities, virtual and real, a better place. Now, I know some of you tuned in hoping for some Sims news, and we'll have plenty to share as the summer goes on, but we do have one announcement for you. We'll be welcoming players on a whole new platform as The Sims 4 arrives on Steam today. Take a look.
Some creatures on the planet, some footprints on the moon. Every particle connected, every universe in blue.
Hey everyone, Alex here from the social team, and joining me today from our community team is Freeman.
Hey folks, yes, we're here to tell you that it's not just The Sims 4 arriving on Steam today. 5 more great EA games, including Titanfall 2, A Way Out, and Dead Space 3, are all playable right this second.
And when EA Access arrives on Steam this fall, you can get all those great titles and a ton more with your membership.
You can also expect to see our new releases on Steam too. One of the first arrived just a short while ago with full mod support via Steamworks.
The critics love it, and we know you will too. This is Command & Conquer Remastered.
Welcome back, Commander.
And Steam isn't the only platform getting some love. We'll be bringing games to more platforms than ever.
You can expect 7 new games coming to Switch in the next 12 months, including Burnout Paradise coming tomorrow, and Apex Legends later this year. And we're bringing crossplay to many of your favorite games too, starting with Need for Speed Heat and continuing with some new titles being revealed later in the show.
It's all about giving you the freedom to play what you want, where you want, and with who you want. It's about playing together.
Absolutely. Now, let's reveal some more games. Over to you, Greg.
Quick reminder to keep an eye out for those special golden letters hidden throughout the show. They could appear anywhere, and I mean anywhere, so keep your eyes open. Write the letters down as they appear, and once you've got the full code, you'll be able to enter for a chance to win one of more than a dozen great games on Steam. So stay tuned and find out where to enter the code at the end of the show. Now, if you follow my content at all, then you know there's nothing I love more than buffalo wings and discovering inventive new games. Well, I don't have any buffalo wings, but I do have something just as tasty. Over the past couple of years, EA has partnered with the amazing studios like Hazelight and Zoink to give us such creative titles as A Way Out and Faye. Here to explain how they do it are a few of the talented developers working on the next wave of EA originals.
Sometimes you just have this great idea of a game, but it can be really hard to do it on your own.
We wanted space for our studio's creativity to flow free, so that we could try unconventional approaches to solving new ideas.
There are times where you've got to break past your own sort of mental blocks, even if that meant building a whole new kind of game engine.
We get to do the game we want to do. Nothing, and I mean nothing, comes into the game if it doesn't follow the vision.
We can really push our ideas further and bigger than we first imagined.
Let's find that magic.
And now for a deeper dive into what these developers are working on, we turn our spotlight on 3 studios. Up first is Hazelight and their mild-mannered, quiet leader, Joseph Ferris.
Let's do it.
Please welcome Joseph Ferris.
There are passionate people, there are crazy people, and there's me. Okay, can you swear here? Can you swear? Okay. The Oscars, you know? The Oscars! You! No apologies there. Yeah, I know I'm cocky. I can't help it, man. I was born in Beirut, 1977. I lived there 10 years. There was civil war, and there was a lot of bad stuff happening there. We tried to move 5 times to Sweden. The 5th time they let us in. And that's lucky for Sweden, because I've given Sweden a lot, you know. My 3rd movie, Zozo, is basically about my life when I came to Sweden when I was young. I've done 5 feature movies, and now I've done 3 games. And it's way hard to make a game. It's almost like the audience have control of the pacing of the story, while in movies it's being paced for you. In video games, there's so much to be explored from a storytelling perspective because of the interactivity. There are some studios out there that are making games that have good stories, but they pretty much have one mechanic they reuse all the time. The designers and the story writers are kind of doing 2 different games. That's why I founded Hazelight, to keep pushing the boundaries of what is possible in games. That's what game number 3 from Hazelight is all about. And action. The new game, It Takes Two, is a co-op action-adventure platformer that will blow your f***ing mind away. The story starts out with a small family. Cody, May, that's the parents, and then Rose, the little daughter. So Cody and May are about to separate. Rose doesn't want them to divorce, so she creates 2 dolls out of wood and clay, and these dolls magically come alive and actually controls both Cody and May. And you could say you're almost controlling their emotions. You're almost playing their emotions. There's even levels where we're actually making a mechanic for their emotions. So again, marrying the story and the mechanics. And I think for the players, that's gonna feel very new, different, and unique. They haven't played anything like this before. It Takes Two is a crazy roller coaster ride that doesn't really have an ending. It has an ending, but that ending is that the roller coaster crashes and you fly into the sky and get up into space. And when you're in space, you're like, what the am I doing up here? And then maybe you get back to Earth again. That's the best way to describe It Takes Two, actually.
Wow, that was the best way to describe it. All right, Joseph, we love you so much. Thank you. Keep it up over there. The Oscars. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this originals train rolling, and let's stay in Sweden. Of course, I'm a fan of both their delicious red gummy fish and their video games. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Klaus and Olav from Zoink Games.
Thanks, Greg. Welcome to Gothenburg and, well, my home. Unfortunately, I didn't bring you any Swedish fish, but we do have some exciting news for you about our latest game. At Zoink, we've always been driven by love of rich visual storytelling and creating strange worlds that people can escape to. The weirder, the better, and I think my friend Olav would agree.
Yeah, absolutely. And for our next game, though, we wanted to try something a little darker, something out of a gothic fairy tale. What started with a mood and some paintings grew into this eerie, strange world that feels like something out of a beautiful, twisted dream. And that's the world of Random.
Lost in Random is the story of Even, a little girl with a big heart and an even bigger temper. After a horrible event that changes her life, she embarks on a dangerous journey through the world of Random. But fortunately, she's not alone. Just like I have Olav, Even also has a crazy little weird friend thing with her.
Along her journey, Even discovers Dicey, a playful, loyal, almost puppy-like dice companion that gives her the power to really change things in the kingdom of Random. Despite the name, in Even's world, randomness is feared, and a dark force controls every aspect of life, from where you live to how you act or what your favorite color is. It's a coming-of-age story set against the backdrop of a mysterious world, but it holds a modern message that's really relevant to our world right now.
I think we can all relate to the desire to try and control the chaos around us. With Dicey's help, though, Even learns the power in doing just the opposite. Embrace the randomness, accept the uncertainties in life, and you'll be surprised how far it takes you.
Imagine if you could change the course of life with a roll of a dice. What would you do? Play it safe or trust in yourself and take a chance? We can't wait for you to play and find out.
We're still a long ways from launch, but we hope you will join Even and Dicey on their journey next year. Until then, please enjoy this first look at Lost in Random.
Welcome to Random.
The world of Random bends with the roll of one dice. A dice that has ruled this kingdom for generations, transforming the fates of people just like you. But what if I told you there is another dice with the power to change everything? Now, my friend, it's your turn to roll, to play the odds, and break the curse of Random.
Well. You can't have the sweet without the sour.
No, Dicey. They should be scared of us, right?
Really cool. That's a look at Lost in Random, and man, embracing randomness. I feel like I live that every day of my life. Ah! Did you know I was gonna do that? You didn't know that. Dicey's my spirit animal. The game's out next year. But for something that's blasting off a whole lot sooner, take it away, Kevin Franklin.
At Final Strike Games, our team of experienced industry veterans have worked on incredible multiplayer franchises. We are passionately focused on making great multiplayer games. That's why I am incredibly excited to announce that we have partnered with the talented team at EA to release our first ever title, Rocket Arena. As you'll see, we stay loyal to the name of the game. It's a rockets-only shooter that allows players to get into the action quickly and stay in the fight. We wanted Rocket Arena to be an awesome, competitive experience to play with friends. I think you're going to love what we've got in store for you. Here is the all-new trailer of Rocket Arena. Enjoy.
Rockets away!
Let's kick this into gear. The trophy will soon be mine. Have you ever wondered why life is so good on Crater? Sure, we've got the beautiful beaches.
Cannonball!
Quality public transportation. And exotic destinations. Another victory! The people are courteous and friendly.
Jolly good for me.
And always happy to help their fellow citizens. Are you leaving already? But the real reason life is so good? We've got rockets.
Let's hit the trail.
I hunger for battle. Talk about razzle dazzle. Never turn your back on the water. I got speed to spare. I'm here to rock it.
I'm having a blast! Full speed ahead!
So as you just saw, rockets are obviously awesome to blast all over the place. But in order to come out on top, there's a lot to master. You'll have a range of rocket-powered abilities to blast opponents out of the arena, and an arsenal of evasive moves. Rocket jump, rocket climb, and dodge to avoid getting knocked out yourself. Don't worry though, you're never out of the action for long. Even when you're out, you'll fly right back into the fray. You'll also be able to really customize your own unique look and playstyle. Each of the 10 heroes available at launch have their own rocket-powered abilities. And as you play, you'll discover items that allow you to further refine each of your heroes' playstyles. Plus, every character has 100 levels of progression that unlock new cosmetics and rewards. All that and much more when Rocket Arena arrives on July 14th. And there's plenty more content to come in our first season, which begins just 2 weeks after launch on July 28th, and brings with it a blast pass and a ton of free content, including new maps, in-game events, and a new playable character. Rocket Arena is a game meant to be played with friends, regardless of platform. That's why we're thrilled to announce cross-play support right from the start. So grab your friends, regardless of their platform, and get ready to blast off with Rocket Arena on July 14th on PlayStation, Xbox, Origin, and Steam. And we'll be sharing more gameplay right after the show with the help of some great content creators. So check us out on YouTube at the link below. See you in the arena.
Wow, that looks great. And hopefully you've all been keeping track of the golden letters hidden throughout the show and nearly cracked the code. Here's a hint. It's not Kanye. Keep an eye out for the last couple of letters, and then at the end of the show, we'll reveal where you need to go to enter the code and a chance to win some great games on Steam. Now, from the future of rocket warfare, we head to a different kind of battle. It's the real reason I didn't get any sleep last night, and if you thought you heard sleigh bells, that's because it might as well be Christmas in June. It's finally time to talk Star Wars Squadrons. Now, okay, I promise you we are going to get a first look at some brand new gameplay in just a moment, but first, for anyone who doesn't fully grasp why I'm so excited, earlier this week, EA and Lucasfilm dropped a trailer that literally gave me all the feels, chills, joy, excitement, and then more chills on top of that. Take a look.
perfect shot. Makes history.
5 pilots.
1 squadron.
The galaxy's finest.
Wow. The 8-year-old in all of us is celebrating and excited. The 37-year-old man on this couch is excited. Ladies and gentlemen, for the second year in a row, I have the honor and privilege of helping introduce a new Star Wars title. And here, to put the hype in hyperdrive, is none other than Motive's creative director, Ian Fraser. Hello, Ian.
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Happy to actually get to show this to people.
I bet. Now, in my copious notes I have on you, I'm told you are quite the Star Wars fan and have been a long time. How long have you liked Star Wars?
I've been a Star Wars fan for pretty much my whole life. I don't even remember the first time I saw the movies. And as a kid, there was a lot of different parts of Star Wars I loved. One of them was being a pilot, that idea of climbing into an X-Wing or a TIE fighter. So, I played all the flight games in the 90s, and I got pretty obsessive about them. I'd pause, meticulously draw the insides of the cockpits and stuff. And actually, I dug up some of those drawings from my parents' attic over the holidays.
We're showing them right now to the world. This strikes me as above and beyond the normal level of Star Wars fandom.
I think at Motive, you'll find that quite a few people have that level of Star Wars fandom. When we started this project, I talked to a lot of people as they joined the team, and a lot of them had similar kinds of stories of things they'd done as kids. One of them even built a functional cockpit in his garage.
Wow, that's fandom on another level. How do you guys go from being a fan, drawing what you see in the game, or building a cockpit in your garage, to actually making this game?
Well, I think that fandom, just love of Star Wars, has provided a really good foundation for us. But on top of that, of course, the team at Motive got a lot of experience working with Star Wars when they worked on Battlefront 2. And when Battlefront 2 wrapped up, there was a really small group of us that were really into particularly the pilot experience within Star Wars. And we wanted to make something new, something that really went all in on that part of the fantasy. And so we did kind of a grassroots initiative, or started a little passion project, and that ramped up into eventually what is the game we're going to show you today.
You talk about, your passion for this, your nostalgia for Star Wars flight games of the past. How do you honor that but make something brand new?
It's been interesting. We're trying to kind of pull from that spiritual heritage of many different games in that time period. At the same time, we want to do something that feels fresh and new for fans today. And so what we've tried to look at is sort of the spiritual core of what I think are the best of the Star Wars flight games of the past. And what they did that I love is that they made that part of the universe real. The level of depth and detail that they show in the ships, the way that you control them, is something that I remember fondly from my childhood, and is something that we're trying to do very much with Squadrons. In real life, being a pilot is hard. It takes skill. And that's something that you'll see throughout the game. As you start off playing, it's pretty straightforward, fly around, shoot your lasers. But as you get deeper into it, you start learning how to divert energy from your lasers to your engines, how to shift your shields from the front to the back to cover your butt in a dogfight. Or at the higher levels of skill, you can do really crazy stuff. Like you can boost your engines, fly ahead, cut them off, whip around 180 and shoot a missile off your own tail while drifting backwards. Like real ace pilot stuff. And that's really where we have a lot of fun with the game.
I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that. I understand the nuts and bolts of how to play it. Is there a single player story? Is there a multiplayer mode? What are we getting into?
It's actually some of both. So the game starts with a brand new single player story, takes place a little bit after Return of the Jedi, and it has kind of a unique dual perspective approach to it. So when the game starts, you're going to create 2 pilots. You create a New Republic pilot and an Imperial pilot, and you're going to alternate between their perspectives mission to mission over the course of the story. You're going to meet a diverse cast of characters along the way, and also a few familiar faces. Now, when you're done with that story and you've played maybe a bit in the practice range, you say, hey, I want to try multiplayer. We want to make it really easy for you to hop online with your friends and play competitive space battles at that point. And so we've done a lot to try to reduce the barriers, to make it as easy as possible for you to play with your friends. And so I'm happy to say we fully support crossplay. You could be on PS4, Xbox One, PC. You could be playing on a traditional display or in VR, which, fun fact, the entire game supports VR from beginning to end, which is pretty cool. But regardless of how you're playing, which platform, they can all play together. Just hook up with your friend, connect, have an awesome space battle.
You just Death Starred my mind, man. Like, that's awesome. That is, the big question, when can people actually play it?
Not too long, actually. Star Wars Squadrons is coming out on October 2nd.
Okay, not too long at all. I was worried about you. I thought you were going to leave me on a teaser there. You didn't. You actually delivered. I appreciate that. The next big ask I have on behalf of everybody watching, I'm sure, who came here for one specific reason, can we see some new gameplay of it? Can we see any gameplay of it?
Absolutely. I kind of figured you might want to. On behalf of everyone at Motive and the team at Lucasfilm, I am very happy to show you the world's first look at gameplay of Star Wars Squadrons. Enjoy.
The second Death Star is gone, but the Imperial fleet is still a threat. Vanguard Squadron, let's make history.
This is it, Titan Squadron. Everything we've done has led to this. Finish those Vanguard scum!
This is Star Wars Squadrons. Earn your wings in a single-player story spanning 2 factions.
All stations! Fire on that ship!
And master multiplayer battles as a squadron of 5. With the option to play the entire game in VR. This is the definitive Star Wars pilot experience.
Come on, come on!
You'll begin your career in a single-player story.
Welcome to Titan Squadron.
Where you'll play as 2 combat pilots, flying for both the Empire and the New Republic. You'll experience this world through your cockpit. The instrumentation in front of you provides critical feedback about power management, targeting, and shields. With a squadron of diverse characters at your side, prove your skills on increasingly challenging missions.
Hello, Vanguard. Welcome to the Nadiri dockyards.
One of my spies has linked the attacks with the New Republic Starhawk project.
The story of the 2 pilots you play
Stick together.
will shape the balance of power in the galaxy.
Get ready!
Let him have it.
To take the fight online, you'll need flight time with all 8 ships. Fighters are the most flexible and versatile, able to handle any situation. Interceptors are fast and highly maneuverable.
Let's get him.
Ideal for hunting down your opponent's starfighters.
That was kind of fun!
Support ships can keep allies safe and stocked up, as well as disrupting enemy fighters.
Light them up! Nice.
Bombers are the heavy hitters, able to deal devastating damage to enemy flagships and starfighters.
But if you've got a preferred component and need something customized, I'll take care of it.
Unlock everything you need to customize your pilot and starfighters simply by playing the game. From cosmetics to an arsenal of over 50 components that alter how your ships fly, fight, and survive.
They're on you! I'll deal with it.
You can dramatically change your loadout depending on your squadron's strategy.
Finally got him.
This will be critical in Star Wars Squadron's multiplayer modes. First up, Dogfights. This is an all-out 5v5 battle.
That hard 5, that was the best!
Fine-tune your loadouts to work as a team.
Moving in on the enemy.
Utilize components like tractor beams, turrets, and mines to slow down your opponents or set up your squad mates for the kill.
Rebels are marked.
For teams looking for an even greater challenge, it's time to prove yourself in Star Wars Squadron's signature mode, Fleet Battles. Fleet Battles are multi-stage conflicts. Whether playing solo or with friends, you'll have the option to compete against other players or AI as a squadron of 5.
Don't worry, I got him for you.
Meet your team in the social hub to solidify strategy, coordinate loadouts, and prepare for takeoff. First, Push the front line by winning the dogfight in the center of the map. Next, attack or defend 2 medium-sized capital ships.
We've lost our capital ships.
And finally, the ultimate goal. Target and destroy the subsystems of your opponent's massive flagship and take it down.
Shields are disabled.
At each phase, your squadron either pushes the line forward or falls back to defend.
Keep our flagships safe.
It's your squadron's choice of how to play.
I'm hit!
Speedy, unrelenting assaults.
Stay together, strike quickly.
Stealth and subversion.
Jamming the enemy. Sensors can't spot you.
Or brutal bombardment.
That ship is vulnerable. Take your shot.
We need to hurry.
A unified squadron is the key to victory.
Making my attack run now.
Let's make this count.
This is Star Wars Squadrons. Join the galaxy's finest and make your mark.
You are the hope of this galaxy.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy Lamar Jackson. I'm excited to be a part of the EA Sports family and to be you guys' new man cover athlete. I can't wait to show you guys what we have in store for you this season. This is EA Sports, next level.
You feel it all.
You feel that burst of speed?
It's like I'm lightning. In that moment, I'm untouchable.
When I play, I'm not afraid of anything.
Not afraid to hit or get hit.
This game is the one true love. Makes me feel like somebody. I never thought I could rise to a level where
It's just me and the keeper.
My heart is like... Doom. Score that goal, and you're a hero.
And history carves your name.
You know what it sounds like? 60,000 people
singing your song.
I can't live without that feeling.
It's in your bones.
I feel football in my heart.
Feel it in your hands.
Chase it. See the unknown.
Face my fears.
You live to fight again.
I want the real thing. I want that sweat dripping, shin splitting, hair raising.
I want to live in the floodlights.
I want to feel it all.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Now, that's a lot to look forward to, but there's more. Here to tell us about the future of gaming is EA's Chief Studio Officer, Laura Miele.
Thanks, Greg, and thanks, Lamar. Welcome to the EA Sports family. There are great things to come from EA Sports for all of you, and that's just the beginning. As you've seen throughout the show today, our electronic artists are working hard to bring you more of the games that you want to play. Games like Star Wars Squadrons, Apex Legends, and Command & Conquer. These games all exist because of you. Your voices are heard, and we are acting on your feedback. Now, we've talked a lot about all the exciting games you'll be playing this year, but our studios are working even further out, creating new experiences, new stories, new gameplay, all enabled by new console technology. And we're so excited about what's to come, we don't want to wait until next June to share what the teams are working on. Generation shifts are an opportunity to push beyond the boundaries of gaming as we know it today, and this time is no different. Our studios are taking their crazy ambitious ideas and making them real. Criterion is known for how their games feel. From superior physics to nuanced details of gameplay, this team hand curates the moment-to-moment experience. And with the new consoles this year, there will be a seamless immersion which will get you into the race in a matter of seconds. Bioware imagines and creates worlds where you become the hero of your own story. And we're using this next generation of technology to make those fantasy worlds your reality. For every console generation, DICE sets the bar for excellence in audio and visual presentation. We are creating epic battles at a scale and fidelity unlike anything you've experienced before. At Motive, we are working on a highly ambitious and innovative new game that puts the power and creativity in your hands. And it's an experience that would have been impossible without next-gen technology. This is just the beginning of the things we are working on, and there is so much more to come. The future of EA Studios is not just about new technology. It's about you, your voices, your ideas. We want to be where you come to play. We want to make games for everyone. So please keep giving us your feedback and let's build the future together. On behalf of all of our studios, thank you for joining us today. But before we sign off, there's just one more game we would love to share. Cousin Darren, over to you.
Thank you. So the moment is here. We finally get to say,
we're back, we're doing it. Skate's happening, we're rolling. We've secretly got together, it's the beginning. The skate evolution continues.
We've been waiting years, honestly, to make the right game at the right time with the right idea, and really, really pleased to say that we're here. It is really early, but it takes a little while to find Cuz or wake him up.
Dude, harsh. Still, we've got a long way to go, but we're stoked, and this is just the beginning.
And seriously, we really can't wait to bring you guys in and have you be a part of it with us.
We want to thank you for your passion, your patience, and all the support that you've shown, us to get to this point.
Oh, the comments.
It's amazing. We cannot believe you commented this into existence. Amazing. Skate changed my life. Thank you so much. Skate forever.
Guys, we did it. We brought back Skate. Thank you to EA. Thank you to Cuz. Thank you to Darren. Thank you to you. Thank you to me. I can't believe that I'm so happy and my heart rate. Is this what exercise feels like? Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe it. Before we go, because I love you guys, here are the last letters of the secret code. If you think you've got the complete code, go to player.gg/EA and enter for a chance to win one of thousands of free games sponsored by player.gg. You can find the official rules and everything else over at player.gg/EA. Now, this has been an amazing experience, an amazing opportunity for all of us all over the world to come together and celebrate gaming. Thank you for being part of EA Play. Until next time, I'll see you online, and it's been my pleasure to serve you.
We see it all with wonder. We dream in every color, and we come alive. This is where our dreams begin. We are catching if we just wait.
I'm sad, but, some very cool reveals there. A brand new Skate. Crossplay seemed to be the word du jour, but let's go in depth and talk about EA Play. I'm Lucy, joined by Michael Hyam.
Hello.
And Timur Hussein.
Where is the Mass Effect?
I know, I'm so sorry. We really wanted to see some Mass Effect. I think there was a little hint at Dragon Age, but let's go through the press conference and talk about the games that were shown off today. So, I mean, let's also talk a little bit about Andrew Wilson's comments at the beginning. I'm very glad that they addressed the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as, you know, their ongoing commitments to the EA workforce, as well as saying thank you to healthcare workers. I think that's very important for them to do up front. And Michael, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much a necessity for any company who's going to be, you know, front facing during this time, is to say something. I mean, we could have a conversation about like how that turns out in action, but you know, it's I think that their statement, at least across the board, covered the swath of things that are happening in our world. But you know, of course, actions speak louder than words. So moving forward, you know, I want to like any other company who's like saying things like this, I would take their word for it. But I also want to see how that affects what they do forward. And you know, at least from what we've seen throughout this EA conferences, like, you know, we're starting to see a lot more diversity as a standard across like character representation and also like people who make games. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that has in store for the future as well.
So that was from the start of the conference, and then the first game that we saw a lot of was Apex Legends. So June 23rd, we're going to get a brand new limited time mode. I'm going to throw to you, Michael, again, because I know you're a big Apex boy.
So I actually got to talk to Chad Grenier beforehand, so I kept my mouth shut during the pre-show. But now, I think either now or a little bit later, you can see my interview with Chad Grenier, and at least after this live stream. Don't go right now. But we talked about the swath of things that are coming to Apex Legends. And like I said in the pre-show, Apex Legends is going ham, man. They don't stop. So season 5 was obviously big with Loba and stuff, but introducing Lost Treasures collection event, channeling that energy from the previous, was it the Armed and Dangerous event, which is shotguns and snipers, bringing that back, tweaking a few things. Very exciting. That's coming next week. Limited time mode. And the respawn beacon stuff is actually pretty interesting when you actually get to play with it. So that's gonna be pretty fun. But as far as the big things go, boy, coming to Switch. I know I asked Chad Grenier a little bit about if he can get to the technical stuff, but they have nothing to say quite yet in terms of like target resolution, target FPS, performance, UI elements. That's all stuff that we're going to see down the line. But I'm impressed that they're even doing it at all. Just because of how huge Apex is. And it's going to, I think, something they didn't touch on in the presser, but I did get information from him, is that there's going to be gyroscope motion control aiming, which I think is really important, because if you're going to play in handheld mode, Joy-Cons are trash for aiming. So I think that's very important, especially because they're going to have cross-play. So if you're on Switch, Steam, Origin, that's another thing that's coming to Steam. That's wild. A bunch of EA games are coming to Steam. It's going to be cross-play. Bro, we've been asking this for so long, and it's finally going to happen. It's kind of an initiative across the board with EA, which is really cool. With a bunch of their games, but like cross the board playing Apex. I love playing on PC, but I know a bunch of my homies play on PS4. I want to play with them, so this is gonna be dope. Apex Legends keeps delivering, and I'm excited to play with more people down the line with because I think crossplay is coming in fall, and also the Switch version is coming in fall. So those things will come out. Right now, exciting limited time events, but man, the future's bright for Apex.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the one thing I will say for crossplay is that I hope they take the precaution that if people are playing on mouse and keyboard, they're not paired up against people who are on controller. Like, if you're playing on controller through PC, that's all well and good, but you can't deny that mouse and keyboard is a lot of times, well, I don't know, because it's like the toss-up, right? Because you get the auto-aim coming through on controller, whereas the mouse and keyboard is way more precise if you're really good at it. So I assume they're going to be working on that. Tam, this is not an apples-to-apples comparison by any means, but it's interesting that Michael mentioned the gyroscope controls, because Tam, when you played Overwatch on Switch, how did that work for you for a first-person shooter?
I mean, it was fine. It was not comfortable. Like the jitteriness that comes with gyroscopic aiming is a big factor for me, and you don't have a lot of that on console or mouse and keyboard, but it's very functional. I feel like if you want to play a quick game of Apex, the Switch has enough options in terms of control mechanisms to make that happen. I expect like Overwatch, the gyroscopic stuff might be a bit of a curio that people try for a bit. Or it could work out that it specifically works really well for certain characters. Like I found when I was playing with gyroscope aiming in Overwatch that some characters like Soldier and that kind of stuff wasn't great for it because I wanted refined aim and control myself. But there were some characters that were pretty good to do it with, like Winston just jumping around and like quickly pivoting your aim, or even like Bastion and that kind of stuff. So it could be a case that, you know, there's certain characters that it works with, you know, maybe a Pathfinder or a Gibraltar or something like that. But given the nature of Apex relying way more heavily on shooting than just your abilities, I expect that it's going to be a novelty that people move away from, and generally will either use the onboard Joy-Cons if they're wild, or connecting like a pro controller if they want to.
So Lost Treasures goes live June 23rd. Switch and crossplay come in fall. Although I'm British, so autumn. All right, next up was The Sims. That's all for you. Next up, The Sims coming to Steam. I know they just announced a new pack, or just released a new pack. Very nice sentiment from The Sims. They are very in tune with their community. That was a very heartwarming and heartfelt, just kind of celebration, I think, of their community there. I mean, personally, I have The Sims through Origin, so doesn't really mean much for people who already own The Sims, but hopefully this opens it up a little bit to people who just want to play it on Steam. I don't really have much else to say about The Sims. I don't know. Oh, do we think the time is almost nigh for Sims 5, Michael?
I don't know. I feel like with the live service style of games that we're seeing as a, not just a trend, but just like across the board, games are adopting that live service thing. Sims 4 seems like it's in a really good place with expansions and added content. Like, I think it would almost be a disservice to try to do a Sims 5 because there's so many people who are invested in Sims 4, and like EA themselves have done so much work to make that game not just inclusive, but just giving everyone something to do in the game too that kind of strikes their fancy as well. So, you know, props to Sims for being that game where, like they said, you know, this isn't just a game. This is, you know, they get to live out another life for themselves, whether they want to see themselves in a game or if they want to be something else in that game. And just the wide swath of things that mechanics and things to do in that game that have come with all those different expansions. So, you know, props to Sims for that kind of montage and that stuff. Like, I mean, they didn't have a massive thing to show off that was new, but, you know, it doesn't have to be that. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. And it, you know, they led on to the announcement that a bunch of other things are going to come to Steam. So we already had Apex, Sims, Titanfall 2, Way Out, Dead Space 3, not 1 and 2, Command & Conquer Remastered, and FIFA 21. Tam, what do you think the future of Origin's going to look like if they're kind of just moving everything back to Steam?
I think it shouldn't really impact Origin in a major way. I feel like there's enough hooks within Origin that make it valuable for people who still want to use it, whether that's discounts, early access, free games, that kind of stuff. They won't be getting any of that through Steam. They're just getting access to the game. I think it's only beneficial for EA to make games like these. They are right now picking specific types of games that are moving over, and they're games that have a longevity to them, or they're games that have been long sought after. Like, it makes sense to put you know, CNC Remastered, Sims 4 and Apex on there because they have massive communities as is, and by doing so they only grow. Titanfall 2 is a beloved game, so, you know, that, who knows, it could be given like a shot in the arm in multiplayer if they put it on that. And like Way Out, for example, it's a great opportunity for people who may have skipped it on other platforms to check it out, especially given that Hazelight has another game on the way. And then, you know, same for Dead Space 3. I think, unless I'm forgetting, like Dead Space 1 and 2 might already be on Steam.
Maybe they came out a little earlier. Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think they originally released on their I have memories of that because it's always in some sort of discount deals promotion. So I think this is just completing the set to a large degree. But yeah, FIFA as well, like, it just makes sense to put them there. I don't think it have a negative impact on EA and Origin's own service. I think it only serves to help them, and giving more people access to their franchises and games is only beneficial for EA.
And I think as well, maybe it'll serve as a funnel to get more people to subscribe to the Vault EA Access. So maybe that'll happen. We'll see an uptick there. You mentioned A Way Out There, so we also saw a bunch of EA originals. I always love I always look forward to this section of EA press conferences because it is nice to see a juggernaut like EA take a chance really on smaller and quirkier and more unique type games. We've had Sea of Solitude from them, Unraveled, and so there's this nice little cartoon featuring a bunch of the developers that they're working with. They started off with Joseph Fares. We know that he tweeted about it. We were talking about it in the pre-show. So his new game from Hazelight is It Takes Two. Baby.
To make a thing go right.
Oh, we both went two very different directions.
I went two different directions, but it takes two to get two different songs.
Wait. Michael, what did you think?
Okay.
It Takes Two.
Enough from y'all. Let me. Oh boy. Let's see. So, Spouses: A Tale of Two Parents is very exciting for me. I think that it's going to be a very fun game to play. As Joseph Farr says, it's going to blow your effing mind. So, I'll take his word for it. Actually, it's called It Takes Two, like Lucy said. Haha, I got jokes. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it's in line with him doing co-op games. So that part was kind of expected. Now, as it's funny because Joseph Fares is so full of himself. I love it. I love how much he loves himself. It's almost like you love to hate him or you hate to love him. But props to him for being that and really going all in on that. And I'm surprised EA replayed his Video Game Awards appearance. So that was nice to see, I guess. But in terms of like It Takes Two, it almost channels a little bit more of the Brothers vibe to it because it's a little bit more familial in terms of its themes. And for as into himself as he is, I think that the stories that are told in those games are actually like pretty well grounded. Obviously, like Hazelight, as he said, Hazelight is designed as a way to bring together the writers and storytellers with the people who make or like the programmers, so that they have a cohesive game where the mechanics are also a part of the narrative. And yeah, that's to say I'm also excited for it, and it's gonna tell oh man, if you got daddy issues or mommy issues, like I'm gonna be this might be a game for us.
I was gonna say, as a child of divorced parents.
Hey, shouts out to divorce, you know what I'm saying? But no, not shouts out to divorce.
No, let's not shout out divorce, please.
No.
No. All right, it's childhood trauma out here. And that's the theme of the game too, at least from what it's being communicated, is that you play as a character whose two parents are arguing, or like in the midst of a split, and the main character has like these two dolls that are supposed to represent her parents, and then eventually it goes into this more ethereal kind of surrealist vibe where there's going to be a lot of more co-op gameplay mechanics. So this is something that I'm genuinely interested in, because not just because Joseph Fares and like the games that he makes, but I think this is something that can really much channel that sort of energy.
Tam, what about Lost in Random from Zoink Games?
Yeah, I mean, that game, it seems really interesting. I love the idea of taking random elements of a game and kind of making it the core conceit of the actual experience. So the game was actually announced a little while back. It was like 2019 that they originally announced it. But I'm interested in seeing how it goes. Like you said earlier, these games that EA shows are usually the stuff that it's really experimenting with and doing like going out there with. So this is kind of like, mechanically speaking, a really unique kind of experience amongst the stable of EA games, and it's like referred to as like a coming of age story, and it's got this interesting like gothic backdrop where it's kind of Tim Burton-esque. So like they talk about they mentioned it being like you take control of a young girl who goes on this dangerous journey through a world of like random things, and like you've got a companion character called Dicey who's able to kind of change the outcome of random events for you. So I really like the setup for it. I'm really interested to see how the mechanics come together and how that randomization manifests in gameplay mechanics and ideas. A lot of potential there. I really like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, and then the final EA Originals was from Final Strike Games, Rocket Arena. So I think this one looked kind of cute. It reminded me, I think, in style and tone of the what was the game that was in the PS5? And it was basically like Rocket League, but
the one with cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was very
I
similar to
already
Rocket
forgot what
League.
his name. Yeah.
I feel bad that I remember, but like the cartoony kind of vibe that you get from it. It looks like a lot of fun. I think there was something like 10 characters, dynamic maps, rockets. Each character has 100 levels of progression. I love that kind of stuff. I get really into it. I'm a little concerned that it's all rockets though. Like I would like, I mean, it's very much in keeping with the title of the game, but I don't know if that's going to be enough variety for me. Michael?
One thing I will say about it is that I think we got some information beforehand about it, and the one thing that I do appreciate about its approach is its non-violence. So everyone has rockets and stuff, but the core conceit is that you're supposed to knock them out of the arena. And you know, I appreciate games when they don't rely on violence as a mechanism. That's not to say that I don't play violent video games. Like, I'm about to play Last of Us 2 tonight. So, and obviously like Apex Legends, like I play a bunch of first-person shooters and all that. But you know, when a studio or developer tries to go for that, that's pretty cool. So, I mean, maybe we'll see how the mechanics shake out. Oh, hi, Sushi.
Hi, Sushi.
But yeah,
Where's she gone?
She's gone. Anyway,
she's gone.
She's gone. But anyway, like, hey, Rocket Arena, like, shouts out to y'all for trying that approach. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, very big Splatoon vibes, I guess you could say, from that too.
Yeah, there you go.
The main meat, I think, of this press conference, I think we'll all agree, Star Wars Squadrons. So there's a little interview with Ian Fraser there. Ian Fraser, he came from the Mass Effect Andromeda team and moved over to Motive. We got to see some gameplay, a lot of really, really cool features here that they revealed. Like, you can play the whole thing in VR. There's a little room that you can chat to your, like, chat tactics with your teammates. Tam, let's talk a little bit about it. What caught your eye?
I mean, I think it's just the entire thing was, I think they said a lot of the right things there. In terms of what people want, the tactical nature of it and the different play styles that they highlighted, like you can do a all-out attack, you can try and focus on stealth runs, you can do like just big bombing runs. I love that kind of style of play that everyone's got a favorite kind of ship, everyone's got a favorite moment from the Star Wars franchise, especially the dogfighting sections where it's like, oh yeah, I remember, the stealth run in this movie or whatever maybe. So I imagine there's a lot of wish fulfillment happening in this, kind of enabling different styles of play, and the tactical nature of it seems like they are playing that up, which is important. Like, it's easy to just focus on like the kind of surface level replication of a dogfighting game in Star Wars environment in space, but the longevity comes from how much you can do within that, the strategies you can employ, the missions that you go on, and it looks like they have enough open-ended stuff in here that it will be repeatable and replayable. But on top of that, they've got that cool story, which is interesting. I love the idea of two pilots basically charting the course of what happens in the world, and you kind of experiencing that through a single player story campaign. Saying all the right things, looking the part, and showing off a lot of like depth potential there. I think it's a strong start for this game so far.
Yeah, definitely. Michael, what do you think?
I think that everyone got what they wanted from Star Wars Squadrons, an in-depth look at the gameplay, and it's cool because my expectations were kind of like, okay, just adapt Battlefront 2's flight for like a full-fledged game. That's kind of what I said in the pre-show, but they went into depth about how the different kind of class mechanics work in actual practice, and that's a very important thing to communicate when trying to sell your game on this concept, right? And like having the different types of ships and planes, or the different fighters, like showing how they work was really cool. And also the fact that they're incorporating a single player experience along with it. Now it might be something like a 4 or 5 hour experience, so sort of like what Battlefront 2 offered, but the fact that it's part of the package is exciting. Seems to be some pretty dope characters. We'll see how that shakes out. But in terms of characters, like there's some folks I want to know more of. I want to fight alongside, things like that. But in terms of the multiplayer, there's like a traditional kind of, I think there was like a deathmatch style mode, but they also kind of walked you through a sort of objective-based mode where you have several steps within a match that you need to destroy this ship, you need to protect this, your squad needs to move in this fashion to achieve this objective. That's all exciting. And also shouts out to like the UI designers for this thing, because it's not like a traditional style where you have all the numbers on the side of your screen. All the UI elements are on your ship, and I think that they've only shown gameplay from the cockpit perspective. So I think they've said before when they first revealed it that this is going to be a first-person flight game. And I don't know if that was just like an emphasis and they would have different perspective options, but it seems like that is primarily what you're going to be working with. And the fact that all of your UI elements, everything that you need to know, is represented on the cockpit of the ship is pretty cool. And the fact that everything's going to be in VR, I don't know if VR is going to be an advantage or a disadvantage when you're actually playing, but the fact that they're going to the lengths to incorporate the entire game in VR is also very, like, that's exciting too. So I really feel like they're going the extra mile to really make this feel like a full-fledged Star Wars experience.
Tam?
Yeah, I was just going to add that EA has actually updated their website to include a little more content about what's going to be included in the game, specifically the locations. So if you're a mad Star Wars fan and you want to see where you're going, you can check that out. It's got like Yavin Prime, SLS, Nadiri Dockyards, and Sisubo, Zavian Abyss, and Galatan, and there's like screenshots of each one along with a little description, and there's like a lot of gameplay overview stuff on the Star Wars Squadron website. So a lot of info they are very much dumping out there right now, which is great news for people who are excited about this.
So a little peek behind the curtain of how we run this show. As the press conference is going on, we write what the games are, and then we write our names next to it about who's interested in talking about, like, taking point on that subject matter. Next up is Madden. Apparently I'm taking this one.
Let's hear
I
it.
got nothing.
So Lucy, tell us about Madden. What is your favorite? How do you feel about, who's your favorite Madden?
I'd have to say Mr. Madden. That's Lamar Jackson. I know because he said his name.
Agreed.
So let's use this also as a segue to talk about EA's next-gen efforts. Yeah, as you can see right here, next-gen world premiere. We got to see this trailer of, I guess, just like EA Sports, saying, yep, next-gen is coming, we're working on it. We're going to see bits of FIFA here and there, bits of Madden, and then in their full next-gen tease, you get to see some of the concepts that they're working on from specific studios like Criterion, Bioware, and DICE. So let's talk through all of the above. Michael, what did you make of the sports announce? Were you, did that pique your interest, or was it the other next-gen tease that really got to you?
I like sports. All right. So we got two British folks on here who only know football as the footy sport where you kick a ball around. But, as an American, I need to represent real football. So Madden 21, I'm actually a little disappointed because I was expecting more details on Madden 21, man. It's cool to see, like, Lamar Jackson's taking a TikTok on his own phone and putting up on the EA's EA Play live stream. That's cool. Shouts out to Lamar Jackson. Oh my God, that was one of the greatest seasons I've ever watched or saw highlights of because I'm on an NFL boycott. But anyway, shouts out to Lamar Jackson. He's a cover athlete. And for me, though, I wanted to get into more depth of the Madden 21 mechanics because it seems like they're trying to do some more interesting things with how that game is played. But overall, I think that EA needed to say something about next gen. And it's pretty easy to like package that with sports because damn well like the sports games are going to come to next gen, things like that. But we're getting closer and closer to these console releases. I want a little bit more details. I know that ongoing games such as Apex, I asked Respawn about what their plans are. They had nothing to share. And there wasn't really any like, okay, here's our next gen game that we're going all in with. It was, I wanted to see a little bit more of that, but not much else to make out of it, I think.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised given how much sports usually take a lot of time up in EA's press conference. Obviously, FIFA, Madden, they are their bread and butter when it comes to raking in those microtransactions. They make so much money every year. They have such a huge audience who buys, the new installment every year. I was very surprised that we didn't see more. They're kind of slowly releasing details about FIFA going to come to Steam, but nothing on this year's installments just yet. Maybe what they usually do is like they kind of leave it to maybe be closer to Gamescom time. That is still happening, so maybe that's what they're just doing. They're just kind of putting it out there, and then we'll get to see all the next gen stuff maybe later on in the summer. Tam, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what FIFA and Madden and other sports titles, they're so big that I think they would need their own breathing room, and the level of nuance and depth that you need to go to really show why they need to justify a new version of a game each time. So whether that's we've got advanced new grass blade physics. Like they need to really get into the granular detail to show the people who love these games what's new, like crowd physics or crowd rendering or ball physics, whatever it may be. And it's not great for those people. It's not great an experience for them to just rush through it. And I feel like that would also eat up a lot of time. And then for everyone who's not there for the sports, they don't want 30 minutes of how a ball is bouncing around the field. So I feel like the right call for them is to kind of make sure that they're teasing that stuff and then breaking it out so that it has its breathing room and they can get various footballers back to talk about at length and get the developers to explain at length what's going on behind the scenes, to explain how next gen works with these sports titles. I mean, like the FIFA stuff is important, the Madden stuff's important, but like I think there's still other things that need to kind of like be touched upon as well as part of this slate, like the UFC. I don't know if that's still happening, and NHL and that kind of stuff. So I imagine there's going to be a drip feed of big, like meaty info drops on these sports titles individually over the next few months. And like you said, Gamescom is usually a big one for FIFA. So perhaps we'll see a little more of that in a few weeks.
We also got that next gen tease. So it's very specific studios that were mentioned, Criterion. What are they working on? The brand new Need for Speed?
Need for Speed.
You would imagine? It has been confirmed.
Yeah, so Need for Speed is the next game from Criterion. They officially said that they're ending support for the current Need for Speed so they can shift over to that stuff. That was in the news a couple of weeks back. Makes a lot of sense. That studio's been kind of like helping out on racing titles and also supporting Star Wars titles, but they are now custodians of Need for Speed Wholesale, I believe. And so that's exciting. They make great games. They make great racing games. Hopefully they can get Need for Speed back on some sort of track or road. I don't know how that works.
I was gonna say, I wonder what's gonna become of Ghost games then. You did Need for Speed a few years ago.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Getting ghosted.
Damn. Bioware got mentioned, so this was the only mention of Bioware in this whole press conference. Jeff Grubb has been tweeting a lot about, leaks and stuff over the summer. He's mentioned, he's kind of done like an update tweet. He said Battlefield 6 is going to be modern, UFC is coming, EA is going to make a golf game on its own again, Battlefield Bad Company Remastered got canned, Mass Effect Remastered is coming this year. BioWare already said it's working on Anthem 2.0 and Dragon Age 4. So that's the update from, I'm not going to say that his insider knowledge, if it is insider knowledge, is correct, but this is what is going around online right now. That tease that we got there from BioWare definitely looked like Dragon Age to me. They mentioned building your fantasy worlds. I assume that's definitely Dragon Age. We know they're working on it.
Yeah.
Michael, what do you think about what we got from BioWare today?
Man, I think it's fair to say that BioWare fans we can say we're disappointed, right? But that doesn't we don't mean any ill will when we say that. It's just like, okay, we're ready to see what y'all got. Maybe they're not ready. That's fine. But I said in the pre-show that they don't have to show Dragon Age 4 gameplay But maybe an update on the state of the game, some ideas that they have going, maybe like a short little teaser trailer. Didn't even really get that. So, you know, I don't want to complain, but it was a little disappointing to get no Dragon Age 4 news because this is in lieu of E3 also. So, yeah, that was a little disappointing. But hey, like we keep saying, man, the Mass Effect remasters, where are they at? Where are they at?
Where they at, though?
Yeah.
What
But
do
I
you think
mean,
of the-
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Carry on,
I
Michael.
yield my time.
Okay. Oh, you done? Like,
Yes.
okay,
He
sorry.
yielded.
I thought
He yielded.
I thought he yielded. I'm so sorry. I thought you still had like one more thing. I just wanted to make sure everyone gets their time. Tam, you can talk about Bioware too, but what else did you make of that that showing from DICE? It was kind of strange. It was like a third person tumbling through the air. You had, I don't know, you were knocking over blocks. What was that about?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, the lack of Bioware is upsetting to me, and I feel personally slighted because I'm a gamer online, so that's how I behave. But the other kind of like weird new kind of tech thing that they were showing, like it's super early. I'm not sure what that was. Even like it's really hard to get an indication of what that game could be. Other than it reminded me of, remember that PS3 launch title Pain, where you just like flung a dude at things and allowed like bad things to happen to him. But it looks like this is just them saying like, hey, we're working on an engine. We've got something exciting. That dude falling through the air sure did look like a bounty hunter. But you know, who knows? That could be a Star Wars thing. It could be something else entirely. But like the jetpack vibe that he had, I was like, maybe like an open world bounty hunter game. Who knows? But yeah, it's too early to say what it could be, but it's just them saying, hey, we're working on next gen technology, so please be excited. Not much to gather from it, but good luck to them, basically.
All right, and let's end on the surprise reveal, the just one more thing, a new skate game. Hey, your plea worked, Tam.
I told you, Bernie Sanders, alone in a skate park, doing an ollie on his own, finally is happy. We once again asked for Skate 4, and we got Skate 4. Or we got Skate. They didn't say Skate 4. They said Skate is back, which is interesting. So if it turns out to be a remaster, sure, why not? We'll take anything at this point. But I do wonder whether it's a full sequel or if it is a remaster. Because if it's a remaster, that's probably a way to hedge your bets slightly. EA has traditionally not shown a lot of faith in the skating genre, especially for video games. But I imagine they're like peeking through the window of Steam and seeing like Skater XL and everything else kind of like coming out and being like, yeah, everyone's making skate games. We've got this one game that people will not stop spamming hashtags about. Maybe we can remake one of the previous games in the franchise. Or if they're bold enough to put a whole new skate game in there, I respect it. I think the important thing is like from the fan base's perspective, they're happy either way. Like we've got something to do with skate.
Michael, you're a big skate fan. How'd this make you feel?
I sure am. It made me feel a lot of things. All right. Well, now that Tam has mentioned it, you know, they didn't explicitly say Skate 4, but that's what everyone's thinking. You know, to be honest though, like I don't think remastering the Skate games would be. I don't think that that's the route that most people want, because like if you think about it, like even though Skate 3 it's been 10 years since Skate 3, but if you go back and replay that game, it holds up really well. I don't really think that game needs a remaster. It already feels really good, or it feels good still to play. But ushering in Skate the series into a next generation, because like they didn't say anything definitive, so it's probably a ways out, 2021 probably. But you know, if that's what they're gonna end on, and you know, make a statement about the thing that people have been clamoring for multiple years, it would have to be a full-on sequel or next-gen game for Skate. But you know, we didn't get any gameplay, we didn't get any like a teaser trailer. They just kind of said, "Oh, Skate's back," which is, you know what, that's enough for me. That gives us hope, and it gives me hope to see that they understand what the fans want. So whenever we do get to see gameplay or a trailer or more details on it, I do have faith that it will be the thing that everyone wants, whether it's Skate 4 or Skate renamed with whatever subtitle. But yeah, I'm ready. You know, THPS 1 and 2 remaster coming. Skater XL's out there, or it's coming out there. I'm ready for some real deal kick flips, bro. Let's go, man.
All right, overall, Timur, what did you think of EA Play 2020?
No Mass Effect, no Dragon Age, 1 out of 10.
Wow. Damn. Cutting. Michael?
Spicy. It wasn't that hype. You know, it wasn't like terribly exciting, but you know, I'm excited for the things that they showed. I'm excited that we got to see Greg Miller out there with a fresh haircut. You know what I'm saying?
That shirt though.
Yeah, homeboy's looking real nice. So shouts out to him. Lucy, tell him that I'm a big fan of his haircut. That was nice. But you know, it's there's some things that are dope. I think them going all in with Star Wars Squadrons was a good call. Mentioning Skate 4 was a good call. Of course, like Tam said, hey, no Mass Effect, no Dragon Age. So I'm nice. I would say 2 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. But it was decent. I'm feeling it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the curse that EA is always going to have now is, you know, they've given in, they've relinquished and done the Skate, whatever the new Skate is. I'm just going to say Skate 4 for the purposes of this analogy. But, you know, now every time they're going to do something, it's going to be where's Mass Effect, where's Dragon Age. And that's a blessing and a curse because you've got a very passionate fan base, but it kind of means that everything else is drowned out by those voices a little bit. I'm of the opinion like that conference was kind of a nice all-rounder. It didn't have as many like big, huge announcements as I would have liked, but getting to see more of Star Wars, getting more Apex news. I love the way they're continuing to support that franchise, so to speak. It's within the Titanfall world. The way they're supporting that game and giving it light to shine. Because if you think about the way it was announced, it was very much, bam, we've done this. We have, you know, it's out now. So I'm loving that it's getting its spotlight. I'm gonna be one of those people who wants Mass Effect, but I can wait for it. Yeah. All right.
Star Wars looks great.
Anything else we need to? Yeah, Star Wars looks great.
Yeah, hey, Star Wars, hashtag Skate 4.
Let's go.
Star Wars skaters. Let's go. Darth Maul was in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Come on, let's go.
Look, the crossovers happened. Let's make it happen again. Michael, Tam, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you everyone who's been in the chat watching along with us. GameSpot has all the huge announcements from this summer as part of our Play for All, which is a mix of all the big kind of announcements, all the big gaming stuff that you would expect from E3, as well as daily charity streams raising money for Black Lives Matter, as well as Direct Relief and their COVID-19 relief efforts. So please donate. Come join us on a stream one of these days. We've got some great guests lined up. We've got Last Podcast on the left. Tomorrow we've got Joe Zizia from Fire Emblem Three Houses. A lot of other fun stuff planned. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.